There's nothing like a good burnout, especially when it's in some Detroit muscle with a giant power adder under the hood. My name's Chris and you're watching the Broncos and Parts Garage YouTube channel. If you're new here, please stick around to the end of the video and you'll see additional links for content I've already created and uploaded. In front of me, I've got a 1995 Ford Bronco with a Paxton Supercharger under the hood. There's a backstory to this truck and I'll go into that real quick right now. I've been looking for a supercharger kit for my emerald green 1996 Ford Bronco, the one that's in the majority of my how-to videos. I had a chance to get one. I waited too long. It sold. Sorry, Rick. And he actually got more money than I was going to pay him, so I guess it worked out for him. I saw this Bronco on Facebook Marketplace a couple weeks ago. I went back and forth with the owner. We came to a deal 2 nights ago, and here it is in my garage right now. Since picking up this truck a few days ago, I was able to talk to the owner before the owner I purchased it from. He told me that in 2019, he sent out the head unit and had it completely rebuilt in California at Paxton, I guess, to the tune of about $1,500. So I was very happy to know that I don't have to do much to it. I'm gonna service it and change the oil inside. And as you can see, it makes plenty of power. I'm sure there's a few things we can do. I'm gonna look into a pulley swap. But the main reason for this video right now is to give you kind of a walk around of the truck and then we'll pop the hood and get inside. This video is kind of filmed a little out of order. I'm also going to do a lot of repairs on this. So everything you see in this video, I'm going to make how-to videos or at least a summarization video of everything that we need to fix before I either keep it or sell it. Ultimately taking it to a dyno and seeing how much power this thing actually makes when I'm completely finished with it. Obviously none of the cosmetic stuff will increase power, but nonetheless, we're gonna take it to a dyno. So please like, subscribe, and follow along. It'll probably be a 3 or 4 part series. So let's get to the video. I'm gonna start at the back of the truck. I know everyone's probably gonna jog this video forward to the supercharger point, but just bear with me and take a look. It's got a decent tailgate shell on it. There's some rust here and here, obviously, but the inside body of the tailgate, there is no rust. You can tell the bumper has been hit. It's actually, the bumper plate or the hitch plate has been bent down, so I'm gonna replace this bumper. I'll probably order a new one because I only have one spare left here. I don't have a key to the tailgate lock. I'll either rekey it or I'll grab one from my stash and I'll pop a new lock in there to match. It's missing a few screws on the inspection plate, but again, limited rust, surface rust on the inside, but it's in really solid shape. Looks like in time these cables have been replaced. There was a spare tire carrier in here that's been removed, and I noticed there's not a lot of bolts holding this top down. As I drove it, I heard a lot of pounding sounds. I'm guessing that's what this is. So we're gonna fasten that down. And you guys know I made a video, so I'll put a link in the description below on how to replace your tamper-proof hardware with better hardware. And I'll get to that. I probably obviously won't make a video of this. Carpet's not too bad. I am going to be doing a carpet install video, so I may swap that out and do it at this time. Let's take a look at the side. As with most of these trucks, we do have some rust on the rear quarters. It does not appear as though this truck has been repainted. And again, there's no rust in the rear of the quarter, just over the wheel well, which is very common. At one point, I could tell they lost the keys because somebody pried in here. So when I get this repainted, I'll fix this. It's got the standard splitting up here. Again, that'll be ground out and welded back. If I keep the truck, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it. So let's take a look at the other side. You take a look at the front fenders. They're in decent shape. Again, they're OEM. There's a few nicks in the front. If you zoom in here, you can see that Supercharger badge. Kind of cheesy, but I don't know. We'll see about replacing that. I don't know if it's a Paxton item or just an aftermarket item. This truck was purchased from a dealership. Aftermarket 15-inch wheels. They look like cast aluminum. They are period correct for anyone that was young in the 90s like myself. So all 4 of them are here with the caps. I'm not going to go into too much detail on the interior. It does need window felts. The switch bezels will probably get the repair kit. I'll order those and make a video. It's got some A-pillar damage right here. It does have a center console that's burned out. I'll repair that. I'll probably throw on one of my steering wheels and replace the bezel because it's got a big chunk missing out of the top. It does have a very unique CB radio. And I don't know if it's unique, but it's kind of neat. You can key it up and go Broncos and Parts Garage. So not sure what I'm going to do with that. The seats are roached, missing an armrest. I'll probably use US Auto coverings and order a set. They're about $1,000, but it'll cover this front and back and the armrests. Headliner's in decent shape. Dual visors, auto dim mirror, all the nice Eddie Bauer accoutrements, and a decent interior in the back. It is missing all the trim that seams the top to the cab. I sell those pieces and I have them, so I'll use some of my stash. Let's go to the other side. One more thing before I leave the interior. It's got a really nice head unit, and there's that CB PA system in the boost gauge. Inside the center console, I've got the organizer. It's got a nice Rockford Fosgate amp and a Kenwood amp in there. It's not hooked up to anything now, but an old parts truck had two 12-inch Lanzar subwoofers that were made in the USA, so it'll probably end up in here. That way, at least my kids won't mind riding in it. A quick walk down the passenger side. Again, limited rust, no rust on the sill. You got your normal rust here. The rockers are very clean. And again, I got the roached out interior. Really nice door panels, but again, the bezel switches are all broken, the tabs, so I'll use one of the rebuild kits in there. And again, a decent front fender. Now, at one point or another, this thing got bumped and they bent the bumper brackets on the passenger side. On the driver's side, one of the plates that you'll see that keep the bumper from sagging, one of those has come loose and rotted. I do have a video coming out where we actually fix a sagging bumper, so please stay tuned to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, do it. But we've replaced the sag plates and the brackets, and we're gonna space the bumper out. So let's get to what we've all been waiting for. Let's pop this hood. So if you've never seen one, this is what they look like. This is Paxton Supercharger mounted on a 1995 351 Windsor, 5.8 liter. You guys know the drill. This is a speed density vehicle. It's not a mass air truck, so I'm guessing that the power is limited without some extensive tuning. I know it's easier to make power on a mass air, especially when you're adding a power adder like a supercharger. Some of the hoses and hose clamps, these are plastic, so you really can't crank down them too much. I'm probably gonna go through and replace all these hoses and some of the clamps, see if there's an upgraded clamp. These stainless steel band clamps aren't really the best, but again, I can't crack this plastic. This is what's referred to as a 6-rib pulley system, obviously by the 6 ribs on the belt. These giant brackets, air conditioning still works. It's mounted down below. And obviously there's an extra pulley mounted on the crankshaft out of sight. Over in the corner right here, you've got your fuel control system, which I'm not too familiar with, but it's a Paxton piece of equipment, as well as air intake, and it's got the good old 460 cold air intake, the OEM one. It comes down into the front of your core support where the normal Bronco or F-Series trucks, it comes out, snakes down, or excuse me, it comes out of the bottom, snakes up, and mounts right here in the core support. So these are pretty sought after. Let me get a better angle. Right here, this right here is drawing air right out of the front of the core support. So as fast as I can pick these up from parts trucks, that's how fast they sell. They were in 460 vehicles. So again, a fantastic cold air upgrade to just about any truck. The truck has a bunch of MSD components as well. It looks like the distributor's MSD, the wires, and the coil back here. There's a couple other trinkets. Now that you've seen that, let's raise this up and I'll show you underneath. I'm not going to take it for a test spin right now, but I'll give you an idea what it sounds like when it starts whining. So my battery died while filming. I used this Milwaukee top off. It snaps onto my M18 battery. These have been lifesavers for me. There's one 110 volt plug and then there's 2 USBs. So I'll put a link in the description below if you guys want to pick these one up if you're a Milwaukee fan. Let's get back to the truck. So looking under the truck, you can see ball joints aren't in the best of shape. We're going to replace these. The spring buckets are in decent shape. All the paint's flaking off. Not really a big deal. We may grind it off with a wheel and touch them up with some black paint. Probably put some new shocks on. I don't know the age of these shocks. The tie rods, ends, again, probably replace all of this. The drag link right here, or where the tie rod attached to the drag link, that's blown out. So I'm actually going to replace all of this. I have all the componentry. I pulled off a parts truck where it was just replaced. The granny glasses, I'm going to put some new bushings in here, or the sway bar end links, whatever you want to call them. I'll probably replace these coils too, just for posterity. Ball joints on this side. If you look under here, which is really wonky, I'm trying to get my light up here. Those TTB, the pivot bushings, are roached. So I'm going to replace both of them. It's not a fun job, but it's not too difficult. I don't know if I can get a good angle in there, but that one's bad too. The back side of the radius arms, probably throw new bushings in there. I have a bunch of sets. Might leave the front alone, or we might put a lift on it, I'm not sure. Everything else is in pretty decent shape. There's not too many drips. They did put an aftermarket exhaust on here. Let me try not to make you guys dizzy. They got the front cat, the fire off cat. The secondary cat was removed. And it looks like a 3-inch pipe going into some off-brand muffler. Let me see if we can zoom this out a little bit. There we go. And it goes out the back to passenger side, single out. It is a limited slip rear differential. It's an H9. If you've seen, just a little bit of surface rust here and there, and then on the quarters, even the heat shield's intact, which in Michigan, that just doesn't happen. Up in the rear, you can see the rear sill. It's not rotted on the bottom. It's starting to get crusty up in that corner. You can see, so we can actually go in there and grind that and weld in some plate steel and strengthen it up and at least stop the rust or slow it down. Probably take this trailer hitch off because the rear bumper is bent over it. And again, the seal right here is just starting to flake out, but there's no damage underneath where it attaches to the tailgate and on down. I can't really see underneath there, but you can see it's fairly clean. Looks like someone's done some work on the rear differential. Looks like newer brake lines. We need to replace the axle vent tube right here. But as you can see, it's a fairly clean truck underneath. Not a lot of damage. Normally these corners are rotted out behind the door. These are in fantastic shape. And again, fantastic shape for us in Michigan means this isn't rotted or missing. But that about covers it underneath here. It's a manual transfer case, which I'm really excited about. A little bit of seepage up here. We'll check into that. Might be an oil pan gasket, but nothing that we won't be able to figure out once we delve into it a little deeper. And I'm gonna make a habit of replacing these engine mounts too on these trucks as they age. They just start rotting out in Michigan, so we'll see. But that just about wraps that up. Thanks for watching this long into the video. That about wraps up this walk around. Everything I mentioned in the video, I am gonna try to fix. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this truck or sell it after I fix it, or I might take the Supercharger off and put it on my 96. I just don't know yet until we get into it. I really like it. It's got 180,000 miles on it. I do have a fresh short block that I could throw into one of these trucks that I have. I've probably got too many Broncos right now. That said, please like, subscribe, share this video. And if you haven't, join the group Broncos for Sale on Facebook, or join Broncos and Parts Garage. It's where I list a lot of the parts I sell. There's a bunch of great guys and girls in that group. A lot of information. So we'll see you next time.